The small alien world of Varnock was a quiet, peaceful place, known for its beautiful landscapes and gentle people. Aliens and humans had coexisted peacefully for many years, sharing knowledge and trade. But one day, everything changed when a terrible accident happened that no one could have imagined. A human child, visiting with their family on Varnock, was killed by an alien guard during a misunderstanding. The child's death sent shockwaves through Earth and beyond. The child's family, heartbroken and filled with grief, returned to Earth. They cried for justice, and soon the entire human race learned of the tragic event. The people of Earth were outraged. They demanded action, not just words. The death of an innocent child was something humanity could not forgive so easily. Earth's leaders gathered in an emergency meeting. The president of Earth, a calm but strong woman named Eva Roberts, knew they had to act. "We cannot allow this crime to go unpunished," she said. "This was not just an accident, it was the loss of an innocent life. Our response must be swift and clear." The decision was made. Earth would send its most powerful fleet, known as the Almighty Fleet, to Varnock to demand justice. The Almighty Fleet was feared throughout the galaxy. With its massive warships and advanced technology, no alien force had ever dared challenge it. Earth had always believed in peace, but when threatened or harmed, they could be a force to be reckoned with. As the fleet prepared to leave, the news spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Other alien species were terrified. They had seen Earth's power before in smaller conflicts, but never had the Almighty Fleet been fully deployed. The idea of such a powerful human force heading toward Varnock made many planets uneasy. Some even began to plead with Earth for mercy, though they had nothing to do with the incident. The fleet's journey through space was swift. Thousands of warships moved in perfect formation, led by Commander Alex Steele, a man known for his calm mind and unshakable resolve. He had led many successful missions before, but this one felt different. "We are not going to destroy Varnock," Steele told his crew, "but we will show them the strength of Earth, and they will understand that such actions cannot happen without consequence." When the Almighty Fleet arrived in Varnock's orbit, their small defense forces were no match for Earth's mighty warships. The Varnock leaders, realizing their mistake, immediately sent messages to Earth, pleading for forgiveness. They explained that the child's death had been a terrible accident, the result of a misunderstanding between their guard and the family. But Commander Steele was not easily swayed by words. He gave the Varnock leaders one chance to make things right. "The death of a human child is a crime that cannot be ignored," Steele said, his voice echoing across the alien planet through their communication systems. "You will face justice, or you will face the consequences." The Varnock leaders, desperate and afraid, offered a full apology and agreed to provide compensation to the child's family. They also promised to create new laws to protect all visitors to their planet, ensuring that no such tragedy would ever happen again. But that was not enough for Commander Steele or Earth's leaders. They demanded that the aliens also hold a public ceremony, acknowledging their mistake and showing the galaxy that they had taken full responsibility. The ceremony was broadcast across the stars. The leaders of Varnock stood before the cameras, visibly shaken, and admitted their fault. They expressed deep sorrow for the loss of the human child and promised to strengthen their relationship with Earth, making sure such a mistake would never happen again. The people of Earth watched closely, their anger slowly softening as they saw the sincerity in the Varnock leaders' apology. Commander Steele, after receiving confirmation from Earth's government, finally gave the order for the fleet to leave. The people of Varnock breathed a sigh of relief as they watched the massive human warships depart from their skies. But they would never forget the day they almost faced the full wrath of Earth. As the Almighty Fleet returned home, there was a sense of both victory and sorrow. The humans had shown their strength, but they had also made it clear that their power was not something to be used lightly. Earth was not a cruel or vengeful place, but when one of their own was hurt, they would stop at nothing to get justice. In the end, the galaxy learned a valuable lesson. Humans would protect their people, no matter where they were or what the cost. And though Earth's fleet returned without firing a single shot, the message was loud and clear: harm a human and face the consequences. The peaceful planet of Eralis had never known war. Its lush green landscapes and towering crystal cities had been a hub for intergalactic travelers. Among those travelers were humans, who visited Eris frequently. Trade between Eris and Earth was strong, and both species enjoyed a friendly relationship. But all that changed the day a terrible accident occurred, an accident that would send shockwaves across the galaxy. It began as an ordinary day on Eris. A human family, visiting for a vacation, was enjoying the beauty of the alien planet. Among them was a young child, curious and full of energy. The child wandered too close to a restricted area where Eris security forces were stationed. The alien guards, not recognizing the child's innocence, acted hastily. In a tragic misunderstanding, the child was killed. The human family was devastated. They screamed for help, but it was too late. The news of the child's death quickly spread across Eris, and within hours it reached Earth. When the people of Earth heard what had happened, they were filled with grief and outrage. The death of an innocent human child was something they could not forgive or forget. Earth's leaders, known for their wisdom and patience, met in an emergency council. President Sarah Hayes, who had always been a strong advocate for peace, sat at the head of the table. Her face was grim as she listened to the reports coming in from Eris. "This is an act we cannot ignore," she said. "A human child has been killed. The people of Earth demand justice." After hours of intense discussion, the decision was made. Earth would send its largest and most powerful war fleet to Eris to show their strength and demand justice. The Almighty Fleet, a colossal armada of warships, was known throughout the galaxy. Its ships were equipped with advanced technology, and its presence alone was enough to make any enemy surrender. Never before had Earth unleashed its full fleet for such an incident, but this time it was personal. The Almighty Fleet prepared to leave Earth's orbit. The news of its deployment spread quickly. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations held their breath. They had seen Earth's fleet in action before, but never had they witnessed its full power. Fear spread like wildfire. Other planets, even those not involved in the incident, sent messages of concern, hoping to avoid conflict with the humans. Leading the fleet was Admiral Marcus Kane, a seasoned commander known for his calm and strategic mind. As the fleet traveled toward Eris, Kane knew the stakes were high. "We're not going to start a war," he told his crew, "but we will show the galaxy that Earth is not to be trifled with. A human life is precious, and we will get the justice we deserve." The fleet's journey through space was fast and efficient. Thousands of warships flew in perfect formation, their massive engines roaring as they cut through the darkness of space. As they approached Eris, the alien leaders could see the human fleet on their scanners. The sheer size of the fleet left them in shock. Never before had they imagined Earth would respond with such force. The Eris government scrambled to respond. They sent messages to Earth, apologizing for the accident and begging for forgiveness. They explained that the child's death had been a mistake, a misunderstanding caused by their guards' lack of awareness. But Earth was not in the mood for excuses. When the Almighty Fleet arrived, it cast a shadow over Eris, its enormous warships blotting out the sky. The Eris leaders, fearing the worst, sent their highest officials to negotiate with Admiral Kane. They knew they were no match for Earth's fleet, and their planet's defenses would crumble if it came to war. Admiral Kane's voice boomed through the communication systems of Eris. "A human child has been killed, and we are here to ensure that justice is served. We do not seek war, but we will not leave until the people of Earth have their justice." The Eris leaders, trembling with fear, offered a public apology. They promised to take full responsibility for the tragedy and made arrangements to compensate the child's family. They also pledged to change their security protocols to ensure that such an accident would never happen again. But the apology wasn't enough for Admiral Kane. Earth needed to send a message to the entire galaxy. Kane demanded that Eris hold a public ceremony, broadcast across the galaxy, where they would admit their fault and show their commitment to peace with Earth. With no other choice, the Eris leaders agreed. The ceremony was held, and billions watched as Eris made its public apology to Earth. The galaxy took note. Humans would not allow the death of one of their own to go unpunished. Satisfied that justice had been done, Admiral Kane gave the order for the fleet to return home. The people of Erilus watched in relief as the enormous human warships slowly disappeared from their skies. But they would never forget the lesson they had learned that day. Never underestimate the value of a human life. As the almighty fleet returned to Earth, the galaxy remained on edge. The message had been loud and clear. Humans would protect their people, no matter the cost. And though the fleet had not fired a single shot, its presence had shaken the very foundations of the galaxy. The planet of Valoria was known for its rich culture and peaceful nature. It was a popular destination for human tourists who loved to explore its vast cities and enjoy its beautiful landscapes. Humans and Valorians had maintained a peaceful relationship for decades, and there had never been any problems between them, until one day, everything changed. It started as a typical visit. A human family had come to Valoria for a vacation. They wanted to show their young daughter the wonders of another planet. The child was full of excitement, running ahead of her parents through the alien streets. But in her excitement, she wandered into a restricted area guarded by Valorian soldiers. The soldiers, who had never encountered a human child before, overreacted. One of them fired his weapon, killing the innocent girl instantly. The child's parents were horrified. They screamed in grief as they held their lifeless daughter in their arms. The Valorian authorities rushed to the scene, apologizing and trying to explain that it had been a mistake, a tragic misunderstanding. But the damage was done. The family returned to Earth, carrying the body of their beloved child, and their story quickly spread. The news of the child's death reached Earth like a wildfire. The people of Earth were furious. How could an innocent human child be killed on an alien planet? The anger of billions of humans burned across every city and country. People demanded justice. Earth's leaders knew they could not ignore this. Something had to be done. The president of Earth, Jonathan Miller, called an emergency meeting with the Earth Defense Council. "This is not just the loss of a single child," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "This is an attack on humanity. We will show Valoria that the life of a human is not something to be taken lightly." After hours of discussion, the decision was made. Earth would send its most powerful fleet, the Titan fleet, to Valoria. The Titan fleet was legendary. It consisted of the largest and most advanced warships in the galaxy. Armed with cutting-edge technology and piloted by the best-trained soldiers, it was a force feared by all. Never before had Earth unleashed its full might in such a way. But this time, it was necessary. As the Titan fleet prepared for launch, the entire galaxy watched. The Valorians, hearing of Earth's decision, panicked. They had never intended to harm anyone, let alone start a war with Earth. The Valorian government sent dozens of messages to Earth, begging for peace and explaining that the child's death was a terrible accident. But Earth's people demanded justice. The fleet would go, and Valoria would face the consequences. Leading the fleet was Admiral Sarah Lawson, a woman known for her bravery and strategic genius. She had led many successful missions, but this one was different. "We are not going to destroy Valoria," she told her crew, "but we will show them that the death of a human child is not something we take lightly. They will understand our power and our demand for justice." The Titan fleet, with its massive ships and unmatched firepower, left Earth and headed for Valoria. The journey through space was swift, and as the fleet neared the alien planet, Valoria's citizens grew more and more afraid. They could see the human warships approaching on their sensors, and they knew they stood no chance against Earth's might. Valoria's leaders, desperate to avoid war, sent one last message to Admiral Lawson. They offered a public apology, compensation to the family, and promised to change their laws to ensure the safety of all human visitors in the future. But Earth was not satisfied with words. They wanted action. When the Titan fleet arrived in Valoria's orbit, its presence was overwhelming. Thousands of ships, bristling with weapons, cast a shadow over the planet. The Valorians had never seen such power before. They knew that if Earth wanted to, it could destroy their planet in an instant. Admiral Lawson gave the Valorians one final chance. "You have taken the life of an innocent human child," she said, her voice calm but firm. "We demand more than just an apology. You will hold a public trial for the soldier responsible, and you will broadcast your admission of guilt across the galaxy." The life of a human is sacred, and you will show the galaxy that you understand this. With no other option, the Valorians agreed. They held a public trial, finding the soldier guilty of reckless action. The trial was broadcast to every corner of the galaxy, showing Valoria's leaders taking responsibility for their mistake. The Valorians promised that such an incident would never happen again, and that humans would always be treated with the utmost care and respect. Only then did Admiral Lawson give the order for the Titan fleet to stand down. The fleet left Valoria, and the planet breathed a sigh of relief. They had narrowly avoided destruction, but the lesson was clear. Never take a human life for granted. As the Titan fleet returned to Earth, the galaxy was forever changed. Everyone now knew that humanity would defend its people with unmatched strength and resolve. The death of one human child had brought an entire fleet to the skies of Valoria, and Earth's message was clear: harm a human and face the full force of Earth's might. Valora was a peaceful planet, known for its vibrant cities and beautiful landscapes. It was a popular destination for tourists from all over the galaxy, including humans. The people of Earth often visited Valora for vacations, enjoying the serene environment. Relations between Valora and Earth had always been friendly, with no signs of trouble. That changed one tragic day, when a human child lost their life on Valora. The Daniels family, from Earth, had arrived on Valora for a peaceful vacation. They were excited to explore the alien planet and introduce their young daughter, Lily, to its wonders. She was only 8 years old, full of life and curiosity, eager to see everything Valora had to offer. The family spent their first few days visiting parks, museums, and markets, where the locals welcomed them warmly. But on the third day of their trip, something terrible happened. While visiting the capital city, Lily wandered away from her parents. She was always adventurous, and in her excitement, she ended up near a military checkpoint. Valora's security forces, unfamiliar with human children and overly cautious due to rising tensions in their region, mistook her presence as a threat. In a panicked reaction, a soldier fired a shot. It struck Lily, killing her instantly. The news of the child's death quickly spread. Lily's parents were heartbroken, their cries of pain echoing through the city. The Valorian authorities were horrified. They rushed to apologize, but the damage was done. The tragedy reached Earth within hours, and the outrage was immediate. The people of Earth were furious. The death of an innocent human child was unacceptable, and they demanded justice. Earth's leaders called for an emergency meeting. President Angela Cole, known for her calm yet decisive leadership, addressed the council. "This is a tragedy beyond words," she said. "We have lost one of our own. The people of Earth demand that we act." The decision was unanimous. Earth would send its most powerful fleet, the Orion fleet, to Valora. The Orion fleet was the pride of Earth's military, an unmatched force of warships capable of overwhelming any enemy. For decades, Earth had maintained peace through diplomacy, but now revenge was the only option. They needed to show the galaxy that the life of a human, especially a child, was sacred. Admiral Jacob Carter was chosen to lead the mission. He was a decorated officer with years of experience in both battle and diplomacy. As the Orion fleet prepared to leave Earth, Carter addressed his crew. "We are not going to start a war," he told them. "But we will make Valora understand the price of taking a human life. We will seek justice, and they will know that Earth will not forgive this." The Orion fleet was massive. Hundreds of warships, armed with the most advanced technology Earth had ever developed, set off into the stars. Their engines roared as they traveled through the void of space, heading straight for Valora. The galaxy watched in awe and fear. Everyone knew that Earth's fleet was powerful, but no one had ever seen it mobilize for revenge like this. As the fleet approached Valora, panic spread across the planet. The Valorian government had already sent messages of apology to Earth, trying to explain that Lily's death had been an accident. They begged for peace, but Earth was not listening. The sight of the Orion fleet arriving in their skies struck terror into their hearts. Valora knew they could not withstand Earth's might. Admiral Carter opened communication with Valora's leaders. His message was clear and stern. "You have killed a human child," he said, his voice cold with anger. We are here to ensure that justice is done. The people of Earth demand that you take full responsibility for this tragedy. You will hold a trial for the soldier responsible, and you will show the galaxy that you understand the value of a human life." Valora's leaders, desperate to avoid destruction, agreed to Carter's terms. They promised a full investigation and trial, admitting their mistake publicly. They arranged for the soldier who had killed Lily to face justice. Valora's citizens, watching in fear as the massive Earth fleet hovered above them, knew that their planet had been brought to the brink of war. The trial was broadcast across the galaxy. Billions of viewers from countless planets watched as Valora admitted its fault and took responsibility for the child's death. The soldier was convicted of reckless behavior, and Valora promised to change its military protocols to ensure that no human would ever be harmed again. Satisfied with the outcome, Admiral Carter ordered the Orion fleet to stand down. The fleet, which had come so close to unleashing its full power, slowly pulled away from Valora's skies. The message was clear: Earth would protect its people at any cost. As the Orion fleet returned to Earth, the galaxy remained tense. Valora had been spared from total destruction. Earth would not tolerate the loss of its people, especially its children. The mighty fleet had been sent not just for revenge, but to remind everyone that human lives were precious and Earth would always defend them. The galaxy was vast, filled with many different planets and civilizations. Among them, Earth was known for its advancements in technology, diplomacy, and peacekeeping. However, one thing was certain: when humans were wronged, they responded with overwhelming force. This lesson would be learned by the planet Orcs when a single tragic event sparked fear across the stars. It all began when a human family visited Orcs for a vacation. The Randalls were excited to show their young daughter, Emily, the beauty of a distant alien world. Orcs was a planet known for its lush forests, towering mountains, and peaceful society. Humans had visited the planet many times before, and the relationship between Earth and Orcs had always been calm. But one day, something terrible happened. While exploring the bustling capital city, Emily became separated from her parents. The young child, full of curiosity, wandered into a restricted area near a military base. Norixian guards, trained to be cautious of intruders, spotted the small figure and panicked. They had never seen a human child before and mistook her as a threat. In a tragic misunderstanding, one of the guards fired a plasma shot. The blast hit Emily, killing her instantly. Her parents, horrified and heartbroken, screamed for help, but it was too late. The authorities of Orcs rushed to the scene, apologizing and claiming it was an accident. They offered compensation and promises that this would never happen again, but none of it mattered. The news of the child's death spread to Earth faster than light. When Earth's government received word of Emily's death, outrage erupted. Across the entire planet, people were furious. A human child had been killed in cold blood on an alien world, and they demanded justice. Earth had always tried to maintain peace in the galaxy, but this time they would show their true strength. The leaders of Earth convened in an emergency meeting. President Michael Thompson stood before the council, his face filled with determination. "They killed an innocent child," he said, his voice echoing across the chamber. "Orcs will answer for this. They will know that humanity does not forgive the loss of one of our own." The decision was made. Earth would send its greatest military force, the feared and legendary Guardian Fleet. The Guardian Fleet was Earth's most powerful fleet, consisting of thousands of warships equipped with advanced weapons and defenses. It was a force that struck fear into the hearts of any who dared oppose Earth. The fleet had been used to defend Earth's interests in the past, but now it would serve as a tool of revenge. Admiral Rebecca Stone, one of Earth's most decorated military leaders, was chosen to lead the mission. She was known for her no-nonsense approach and had led countless successful campaigns. This time, however, the mission was different. It wasn't about diplomacy or defense. It was about making Orcs pay. As the fleet prepared to launch, the people of Earth watched in support. Billions of citizens followed the news, cheering for the fleet as it took off into the depths of space. Admiral Stone gave a speech to her crew before departure. "This is not just about revenge," she said. This is about showing the galaxy that human lives are precious. They will fear us, and they will know that if they harm one of our own, they will face the full might of Earth. The journey to Norix was swift. The massive fleet, with its towering warships, cruised through space like an unstoppable force. As they approached Norix, the Norixian government grew terrified. They had sent multiple apologies to Earth, begging for peace, but it was too late. Earth's fleet had already arrived. When the Guardian fleet appeared in the skies above Norix, it was a sight that sent shivers down the spine of every being on the planet. The ships blotted out the sun, their shadows casting a dark gloom over the cities below. The Norixians, once confident in their peaceful ways, now stood powerless in the face of Earth's overwhelming might. Admiral Stone opened communication with Norix leaders. Her message was simple. "You killed a human child," she said, her voice cold and unyielding. "Now, you will face the consequences. We demand that you publicly admit your wrongdoing and hold those responsible accountable, or we will rain fire upon your cities." Norix's leaders, realizing they had no choice, agreed to Earth's demands. A public trial was held for the soldier who had killed Emily, and the Norixian government broadcasted their admission of guilt to the entire galaxy. The soldier was found guilty, and the planet was forced to offer reparations to the child's family. The galaxy watched in awe. Never before had Earth unleashed such a display of power. The Guardian fleet remained in orbit above Norix for days, a constant reminder of Earth's strength and the price of harming one of their own. No one dared challenge Earth after that. Satisfied with the outcome, Admiral Stone gave the order for the fleet to return home. The people of Norix were left shaken, knowing they had narrowly avoided total destruction. The galaxy, too, was forever changed. From that day forward, every planet knew that to harm a human was to invite the wrath of Earth's most powerful fleet, a fleet that brought fear wherever it went. As the Guardian fleet returned to Earth, the people celebrated. They had shown the galaxy that human lives were not to be taken lightly, and that Earth would always protect its own, no matter the cost.